If Carney can't even give us a budget, then he shouldn't be bringing people here for $1 million and parading them around just to show that he has support from the UK.
When the treaty chiefs are sitting out here and the king is in there, we have an issue.
We just gave out 500 cookies. Liberal, conservative, Bloc Québécois, right?
Where's the NDP?
Well, we ran out of time. And there's Mark.
Oh, Mark Carney. He's a bit gray, though.
Well, you do what you can. But this one, right?
Yeah.
We're so proud. That's all the story is. You should be proud to live here. And if you're not, take a plane.
Alexa Lavoie for Rebel News, reporting live from Ottawa, where King Charles III and Queen Camilla have just arrived at the Senate to deliver the throne speech. King Charles III will be the first monarch to use the new throne in the Senate of Canada's building. We are here today to engage directly with the crowd to ask people what the king and the monarchy represent to them personally. We also want to explore a deeper political question. In light of the separatist movement in the West, could this royal visit revive a sense of Canadian national unity, or might it deepen divisions? And here's another angle we are curious about. Do people here believe that Donald Trump is paying attention to this visit? Do they think he cares, or that his royal moment sends any kind of strong message to the United States? Could it change anything to the Canada-US dynamic? Let's head into the crowd and hear what people on the ground in Ottawa have to say today.
We came down. It's a historic moment. It's only the third time the monarch's been here to read the speech from the throne. And it's an important signal to our neighbors to the south.
Well, I think he is. The king is part of our, as a Métis person, he's part of the illegal agreement between Indigenous peoples and Canada. So he's very important to us because he represents the original deal between Indigenous peoples and what became Canada.
I'm a Scotsman. So monarchy has never been a great thing for me. Mm-hmm. But what the King's representing now, what's going on with the threat with the US is why I'm here. Mm-hmm. To be perfectly honest, I don't have a lot of time for the monarchy. Never have, being a Scotsman. But what he's doing now, he's making a hell of a difference. And what he's going to do now for Canada, standing up for what's going on, why I'm here. So I have taken a day off work to be here. So I'm giving my support to the King, which I never thought I'd ever do.
Je pense qu'en 2025, c'est antidémocratique d'avoir une monarchie puisque le roi d'Angleterre peut décider de tous les motions du Parlement.
They're a different country. They're not Canadian, really. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand why we still have a monarchy coming here and saying things, and they shouldn't have a say anymore. We should be a sovereign country without the UK's involvement. And he comes here because he cares about Canada. He doesn't care about his own people. Mm-hmm. So why would we believe that he cares about us?
The king represents the history of our country. You know, and how we evolved as a country with the British rule. Mm-hmm. And their parliament is based out of their system as well. So it's important to recognize them still, I think.
Abat la monarchie! Proclamons la République!
Ça représente le pouvoir des intérêts privés, ça représente pas de démocratie, ça représente comme quoi le pouvoir n'est pas dans les mains des gens qui travaillent, des gens qui payent leurs taxes.
I love unity and I love freedom. Mm-hmm. It's very simple, right? There's black and there's white. There's red and there's blue, and then there's gray.
Sérieusement, je pense vraiment que le roi d'Angleterre va nous faire régresser au niveau des droits des femmes. Puis, je veux pas trop exagérer, mais aussi un peu les droits sexuels, comme les minorités sexuelles, le droit à l'homosexualité, des choses comme ça. Je sens qu'il n'a pas exactement de bonnes intentions envers les homosexuels.
He is my king, and I honor him. I don't agree with some of the things he believes in and his connections with the World Economic Forum and other ideologies that he has he believes in, but he is my king.
La monarchie représente quelque chose du passé qui est plus nécessaire pour le Canada. Le Canada devrait devenir une république depuis très longtemps pour arrêter justement que le pouvoir de l'arbitraire qui est concentré dans les mains du premier ministre, qui a le droit de faire n'importe quoi, puis il n'est même pas élu par toute la population. Faut que ça arrête, là.
It's very funny because you have Bloc Québécois Cookie, but the Bloc Québécois is against the monarchy.
Yes, but we have to represent everyone in Canada, right? We represent Indigenous, we represent the King, we represent Alberta. We all have troubles, right? But we need to get along because otherwise we will be like south of the border. We don't want that.
Many Canadians are feeling anxious and worried about the drastically changing world around them. Fundamental change is always unsettling. Yet this moment is also an incredible opportunity for renewal, an opportunity to think big and to act bigger, an opportunity for Canada to embark on the largest transformation of its economy since the Second World War. A confident Canada, which has welcomed new Canadians, including from some of the most tragic global conflict zones, can seize this opportunity by recognizing that all Canadians can give themselves far more than any foreign power on any continent can ever take away. And that by staying true to Canadian values, Canada can build new alliances and a new economy that serves all Canadians.
Do you believe that Donald Trump is watching? Do you think he cares?
Yeah, very much.
What do you think he's thinking about today?
Today, he's making a point. You know, Canada's not for sale. One man cannot dictate what the rest of the world can do, and just because he's got wealth, decide what he wants to do for a country. So the king standing up, being a sovereign member, and being our king, it's fantastic. Hope he does this more.
I don't think Trump cares. He liked Carney. He wanted Carney to get in. I don't like Carney. He's been in the UK for 10 years now, hasn't paid taxes here, comes back and is suddenly the Prime Minister of Canada. So too much English involvement, I think.
I don't think he cares too much about it. And as far as the message, there was some comments made a month or so back by Charles. I don't think it's going to hold much water with him.
I think if Trump isn't watching, people around him are watching and will make him aware of it. As somebody that's worked in the federal government before doing media monitoring, it will certainly be part of his press kit that this happened, and it will send a signal to those around him, including Donald Trump directly.
Do you think Donald Trump is watching? Do you think he cares about the king visiting in Canada?
Probably not, but I think it's more important that we bring Canadians together and we're united.
Je pense pas. Je pense qu'il s'en fout.
Qu'est-ce que vous pensez de cette décision-là de M. Carney d'inviter le roi à venir ici?
Bon, je pense que c'est assez farfelu, là. Il l'a fait venir supposément pour s'opposer à Trump puis déclarer la souveraineté du Canada, mais c'est tout à fait le contraire que ça envoie comme message. Donc, c'est...
Pensez-vous que Donald Trump regarde?
Je pense qu'il s'en fout complètement. Le roi, il peut le voir quand il veut. Non, c'est ridicule.
Do you think Donald Trump is watching? Do you think he cares?
Absolutely, he's walking. Because when you see him with the monarchy, he is respectful. He does want their check mark, right? So I think the king was will the king be proud of Canada? That's a song from the 1900s. Yes, the king is proud of Canada.
And I think our government needs to work with President Trump and follow the leadership of Danielle Smith, Premier Smith in Alberta. I think we would be very wise to work with the American people. And I believe this storm that we're in now is really unnecessary. We're going to pass through this storm, and I believe it'll be sunshine like this.
Et c'est pourquoi je pense que Donald Trump va avoir une vision mixte de la monarchie ici au Canada. Il va probablement percevoir la monarchie comme un symbole historique certes, un symbole de pouvoir, il va le respecter, mais il va voir ça aussi comme une sorte de contradiction envers les valeurs de son pays en tant que président des États-Unis d'Amérique, excusez-moi.
By bringing the king here in Canada, do you think it will divide or unite Canadians?
I think it's kind of on equal parts, really. I don't think it's going to divide us more than it would unite us at this point. Most people are kind of awake to the monarchy, I think, that they don't really care anymore. The older generation cared more than the younger generation. The younger generation is like, why do we still have these people around? And especially in the UK, where they're wondering why they pay so much for a monarchy.
But there's a lot of royalists in Alberta. I mean, not just in this area. I mean, they're pretty. It'll give them more thought about unity and stuff like that. I think once we start developing the resources out of Alberta and maybe the equalization payments increase for them, I think that'll help a lot of unity too, as well as the king visiting.
Oh no, I think that it will bring Canadians closer together from all provinces and territories, from coast to coast to coast, without question.
Well, I've heard a lot about this movement toward independence. I love the people of Alberta too. We have family in Calgary and near Edmonton. However, I believe Canada should remain a sovereign country. So I'm really praying that Canada will stay together and that those differences will be resolved. I think it's going to require a change in this current government.
I think it's very important. Certainly there's people that always want to separate from Canada, and 30% is usually the percentage that you see of dissenters on any kind of issue. Yes, I think it's going to unite a lot of people when they see how it's received in the media down in the States, and it helps to reinforce our parliamentary system and its distinctiveness with the American system, including Quebecers who may not have been monarchists in the past.
The French language and the Quebec culture are at the heart of the Canadian identity. They define the country that Canadians and I love so much. The government is determined to protect the institutions that bring these cultures and this identity to the world, such as CBC, Radio-Canada.
About every 70 years, everybody goes crazy, right? We look back in history, but you know what? We all have to have our say. But when it comes to Canada first, we should really not be politically motivated. We should be motivated in love.
We know that right now there is a growing movement of separatism, especially in the West. Do you think by bringing the king, that will bring them back to unite Canada?
No.
No.
No. That's not going to change.
Do you think it will divide more Quebec, though?
Yeah, very much. I think it's going to show a lot of the united stand, but the separatists are always going to be there. They've been going for the 70s since I was born. That's not going to change.
Au niveau du Québec, bien, on le voit dans les sondages. Les gens s'identifient de moins en moins au monarque. Ils sont de plus en plus opposés au système monarchique. Moi, je pense qu'une république avec une constitution décidée par les gens de notre pays, c'est la meilleure direction.
Je pense que le nationalisme, c'est important que ce soit centré sur notre nation. Le Canada fait partie du Commonwealth, c'est beaucoup moins nationaliste, c'est plus multinationaliste. Vous comprenez, c'est puisque le Commonwealth est composé d'un nombre de nations, c'est pas vraiment à propos du Canada, mais bien à propos de l'Angleterre.
And do you think it will revive, though, the separatist movement in Quebec?
You know what? My husband grew up in Montreal. He would say, I fought with the French. But you know what? It's Canada, right? We are so eclectic.
It may be, but I hope they reconsider like they did years ago and they remain in Canada. I believe Canada is a sovereign country and we need to, we're going through a difficult time, but caused by the liberal governments that we've been under. So we need a change.
Mark Carney invite le roi en partie, comme tout le monde dit, pour réaffirmer une supposée souveraineté du Canada, quoiqu'il n'y a pas de souveraineté si c'est un monarque étranger qui vient de l'affirmer. Mais en même temps, c'est pour sa proposition, à mon avis, à Carney. C'est lui qui a invité le roi la première fois en 50 ans. Fait que là, c'est pour essayer de se donner position, à mon avis.
Do you think in an economic crisis as we are living right now, do you think it was the best move now to bring the king that would probably cost millions?
Oh, definitely. It's a fraction, like pennies per citizen to bring him over to send a strong signal. So I'm fully in favor of that in terms of signifying what our role in the world is and our potential for reaching out to other nations, the Commonwealth, Europe, and also to stand on our own as a distinct country that has fought to defend our freedom and the crown.
No, I don't. If Carney can't even give us a budget, then he shouldn't be bringing people here for $1 million and parading them around just to show that he has support from the UK.
Bring the king, of course. Yeah, I don't think that's a waste of money. No.
Do you think it was a good move from Carney to invite the king?
Oh yeah, it's always great to have the monarch here. You know, it's look at the crowds we get. You know, down at Lansdowne yesterday and here today. I mean, it's important. It's great. It's a great event for sure.
I would like to acknowledge that we are gathered on the unceded territory of the Algonquin and the Shinabeg people. This land acknowledgement is a recognition of shared history as a nation, while continuing to deepen my own understanding. It is my great hope that in each of your communities and collectively as a country, a path is found toward truth and reconciliation in both word and deed.
And this country will never fulfill its destiny till it treats each one of the First Nations people in this country with the respect and courtesy that they deserve.
The king has landed here. They might acknowledge First Nations, Indigenous people, but they're not acknowledging the treaties. The treaties are what allowed him to be here. How can you not acknowledge treaty when it's the foundation of Canada and the provinces? The resources that come from Treaty 8 support Quebec, Ontario, all these other provinces that are taking these equalization payments with their hands out. Where's ours? What do we have to do to be treated fairly? Why is our resources and the funding for our resources coming to Ottawa and Ontario, all these places, these buildings, yet our people are in poverty?
How do you explain that there is some native that was allowed inside? We saw some, and you are standing outside.
Well, what happened is, as you know, AFN is not a treaty organization, but yet they perpetuate an understanding that they do speak on behalf of Treaty First Nations. They are an organization. They are not a rights holder. When the government gives them authority to do things on our behalf, and they bring in, I guess we could say, hand-selected chiefs, then we have an issue. When the treaty chiefs are sitting out here and the king is in there, we have an issue.
We just gave out 500 cookies. Liberal, conservative, Bloc Québécois, right?
Where's the NDP?
Well, we ran out of time. And there's Mark.
Oh, Mark Carney. He's a bit gray, though.
Well, you do what you can. But this one, right? Yeah. We're so proud. That's all the story is. You should be proud to live here. And if you're not, take a plane.
Don't forget that if you want to support our journalism and make sure we are here to report the other side of the story, you can donate at rebelfieldreports.com on this website. As you know, you can watch our reports, but you can also donate. And thank you in advance to support our independent journalism.